Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jelly here with yet another video, and today's video is going to be kind of a fun one. Today's video is a compilation of about 31 things that I came up with that could help you improve or get better at the game of Last War. Now, if you're a veteran, you probably know a majority of these, but there are some little small nuances that may not. Regardless, some of this information I have gone over in some of my past videos, but I figured I might as well have one mega video to help guide people in the right direction. So let's just kind of jump into it, not waste too much time since I do have 31 things on my list. Right off the rip, the first topic of discussion is going to be Marshall's Guard. Now, one thing in particular. Also, a side note, I will be jumping back and forth between multiple different things, so I'll go over this Marshall Guard thing, and then it's also one of the things way later on because I was just kind of jotting down as I went. But this is the very first thing. Now, what happens is Marshall's Guard has 5 stages, and you max out at level 5. And once Marshall Guard has been beat, there's really no reason to continue on rallying. And this is something that I try to preach all the time. Even if you are somebody that may not get their individual rewards or you may not max out your individual rewards, I guarantee you that this 500 minutes worth of construction speed up, 200 diamonds, 1.5K upgrade ore, and 200 synthetic resin are not going to be worth the amount of troops that will die from your Marshal's Guard. Essentially, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and preach to you guys is that once Marshal Guard has been beat and it's at reward stage 5 completely maxed out, I would go ahead and just stop entirely on rallying Marshal's Guard. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is actually going to be also related to Marshal's Guard, and that is going to be based on the level of Marshal's Guard that you have here on screen. So, for example, ours is level 10. We are more than capable of beating a level 11, and we could probably push on beating a level 12. But because we're in season and the number one thing that we're concerned with right now is troops, we're going ahead and lowering that level of Marshal's Guard because the easier it is to beat, the more troops that you save. And realistically, the rewards between a level 11 and a level 10 do not outweigh the troop loss because troops are so important, especially in season. Now, this does not go for, mid-season or not mid-season, between seasons or off season. This does not count for that because that is a completely different ordeal. Then you can just do whatever you want. But yeah, right now, I would say if you're in season, keep the Marshal's Guard one level lower. Thanks to a lovely commenter, I do have my third tip. So this is going to be tip number 3, and that is going to be with these resource choice chests, the UR and the purple, the SSR, you should save all of these choice chests until you level up to level 30, for example. Now, granted, obviously, if you're trying to get to level 30 and need to use them, go ahead, that's completely fine. It's not just the choice chests, it's actually all of the resource chests. So all of these will give more resources per level that you go up. As long as you can hold off using these and you can wait until you're a higher level to use them, I would recommend doing that. Save these for the higher levels because the resources that you gain per chest is so much it's such an astronomical number compared to when you're a lower level. Okay, next thing is actually going to be Zombie Siege. Now, this goes kind of for my alliance leaders, my R4s or R5s of other fellow alliances. I would go ahead and say to you, make sure that you are keeping your Zombie Siege very consistent. Keep it on the same day, twice a week, 3 times a week. I don't care how you're doing it, but make sure that it is very much consistently being done at the same time. What this does is this allows people to know when they have to keep their troops on the wall, because for a lot of people, they take their troops completely off the wall, such as myself, when Zombie Siege is not going on. So if they know, for example, that this happens on Mondays and Thursdays, then they know to keep their troops on the wall for Mondays and Thursdays, and then they can take them off for the days afterwards. Pretty much keeping just about anything in this game pretty consistent goes a long way, and it helps your alliance know what to look forward to, and it also helps you guys have communication and build trust with your alliance members. Okay, here's kind of another one that's kind of should be common knowledge, but the thing with universal shards or even the universal weapon exclusive weapon shards, the universals of those, I would tell you right now that you should only ever be using those shards on your main squad. Now, if you don't know by now, unless you're a whale, the average player is going to be hyper focusing on one squad. So, for example, I'm an air squad at 32 million, but my number 2 is at 26, and my number 3 is also at 26. My main squad is going to be my air. That means every time I have universal shards or universal exclusive weapon shards, I'm going to go ahead and use them exclusively on my main squad. That should be commonplace, or it should be known across the game, but I like to spread this information just in case it is not common. This next one is also coming from a fellow subscriber of your guys's. He commented this on a video, and he was essentially like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm the R5 of an alliance and R4, and again, this tip is dedicated towards leadership. He asked me a great question. He says, hey, is it smarter to go ahead and keep my alliance at 100 out of 100 because I have 40 inactive members, or is it smarter to just keep it at 60 out of 100? And now there is pros and cons to both, but mainly I'm going to go ahead and lean towards cutting those 40 inactive or 40 not strong members. You may be asking, well, why? The simple answer is because you have those 40 members, they're inflating your stats, they're inflating your power, they're inflating you in VS, but they're not really putting anything in, they're not putting any effort in, and they're not really helping you. So in reality, what they're doing is they're putting you a tier above, but they're not really putting that tier above worth of work in. So it's smarter to go ahead and drop that as long as you're able to partake in VS and partake in the Alliance train every day. Keep around that amount of members. Otherwise, I would say cut the fluff. Okay, so this is going to be tip number 7, and we're going right back to Marshal's Guard. So this is another thing where I said I'd be jumping around. But another great thing that you guys can be doing for Marshal's Guard is that when you are attacking a Marshal's Guard, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rally with your weakest squad, and you're going to want to join other rallies with your strongest squad, because you have to wait until all the other rallies are going away for yours to go. So having your strongest march or your strongest squad start the rallies, for example, it's going to do less damage over time and you're going to end up losing more troops. Now, with that being said, what I recommend is I recommend having your second or third squad be strictly like a blue hero, a low level blue hero, and you rally with that guy because your troops are going to die regardless. But if you rally with a Gump, you lose less troops and you're still able to hit the Marshal's Guard and then use your 2 main squads or your 1 main squad to actually attack and join other rallies. Okay, tip number 8, or what I want to kind of talk about here, is that there is this great thing in Arena called 3v3 Brawl. I'm sure that 99% of all people playing this game or watching this video do know exactly what this is. Now, one thing I have to talk about, and I wish I could show it, but I can't because my 3v3 ended. There is a difference between your offensive set and your defensive set. You're going to want to adjust your defense and offensive sets for 3v3 both. Setting one does not set it automatically for the second one. Second portion of this in particular that I'm talking about is that you're going to want to spread your squads out, because in 3v3 you can either have 2 really mega squads, which is kind of how I do it. I have 1 really weak one and then I combine my 2 to have 2 really strong ones. That's my recommendation to you guys, because in 3v3 all you have to do is win 2 out of the 3 battles, which typically means that their strongest squad can go against your second strongest if you have it in lateral order. So yeah, make sure that you're setting both your offense and your defense because they are 2 separate, and make sure that you're setting it to have 2 really strong buff squads and having a weak one as your third and final one. Tip number 9 is that once you get into Alliance VS, they're going to be joining a league. As you can see here, it says starting soon. Obviously, if I click start, I'll be in it already, but I'm in Diamond here. What Alliance League is essentially you and 16 total alliances are put into this one bracket, this one grouping, and in order to move up, you have to be in the top 5, and every time you're in the bottom 5, you move down leagues. Diamond is the highest, and I think Bronze is the lowest. I might be mistaken there. But essentially, the best way I can go ahead and do this is, especially once you get into Diamond League and you're just trying to stay there, it is not an objective to win every single week. Do not try to push and win every single week. I recommend, if you're not an R5 or an R4, I recommend talking to your leadership about this. You really only need to win 2 of the 4 weeks. So you should probably be pushing in week 1 or week 2 and then taking the other 2 weeks off. So for example, if we take off, since we're going to lose this week against LDCX, next week we'll push for a victory. So we'll be 1-1. And then in week 3, we'll say, hey, well, we just pushed last week. We've spent everything that we had. Let's lay up week 3. And then week 4 comes around and we'll push again for the victory, because having 2 wins secures you in that exact same bracket. So yeah, essentially don't push every week. Make sure that you have save weeks. It allows you to have a much easier time staying in your league. Tip number 10 is a small one, but it's really, really nice to have. Whenever you're doing anything such as a code boss or fighting golden zombies or literally anything that requires doing damage to monsters, you're going to want to go ahead and get your War Fever before that starts. And essentially how you can get War Fever is by scouting another person's base, attacking another person's base, anything like that. I recommend scouting. So as you'll see here, I don't have War Fever up here in the top left. Let me find, right here's a no-name level 13 base. If I go ahead and scout, you'll see now I have War Fever up here. And essentially what this does is this increases the damage that I'm doing right now, since because of my profession, by 11%, but the average player is just going to do 1%. Now you'll be shocked that that 1% does make kind of a difference. Go ahead and get your War Fever before you do anything like that, except for on Buster Day, because you do not want to pop your shield. getting War Fever does pop your shield. Tip number 11 is kind of piggybacking right off of that. What you're going to want to do for the wanted boss is you're going to want to go ahead and make an ideal lineup. So for example, code 87 is tank heroes deal 50% extra damage on the wanted boss. So what I would do is I'd go ahead and say, okay, so tank damage is exactly what I want. And I have 4 tank heroes that do damage per second. So Mason, Kimberly, Stepman, and Marshal as well. So yeah, Marshal is going to go ahead in my lineup. And then since I don't have a 5th DPS tank, I would go ahead and throw maybe an air person in there, whoever my strongest DPS is outside of tank. And it would more than likely be DVA in this example because she has the exclusive weapon. And I would just try to make the ideal lineup for fighting the code boss. That typically relies on 5 attackers. Also, a cute little trick is that if Mason's in the front row and you have your 3 tank DPS in the back and your last DPS up front with Mason, all of these people are going to do so much extra damage. I promise you it's worth it. Do that small trick. Tip number 12, I've kind of gone over a couple times in the past. Make sure that if you're a free-to-play or low-spending player, that the only thing you're spending your diamonds on for the most part is actually going to be unlocking VIP. This gives the best buffs in the entire game, and it's also just the best value. If you have extra diamonds over and over again, I would try to have at least a 2 or 3 month stockpile of VIP. Or if you really have extra diamonds, the VIP store is great for the advanced teleporters, as you'll see I'll buy there, and also the stamina. Now that they got rid of the stamina packs, it's a great deal there. Everything else is kind of not worth your diamonds. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a whale. Then you do whatever you want pretty much. But yeah, your diamonds should only be being spent on VIP. Another quick little one is if you click down here on this little walkie-talkie in the bottom left of your screen, you will have daily tasks that will give you chests and stuff. Make sure that you're going ahead and doing all these. You want to get this maxed out to 200 out of 200 because it's free stuff. It's the stuff that you're going to have to do pretty much anyways, and you might as well make sure that you're maxing this out. That was tip 12. Tip 13 kind of goes right into that, and that is going to be if you click on your events here and you go over to your arms race. I have not done it today because I do have a newborn, so I haven't really logged on very much, but you're going to want to go ahead and get these boxes, all 3 of these boxes, and since there is 6 portions throughout the day, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to want to get those 3 boxes all 6 times because these will give you both skill medals and resource chests and speed ups out the butt. And a lot of the times it's really simple. So for example, right now I'm in the hero one. So what I'll do is I'll go over here, I'll find a hero like level 78 Maxwell. I'll click upgrade a few times and boom, just like that, I have my 3 chests from the arms race for this hour. I recommend doing this all 6 times if possible. Make sure that you're doing it overlapping with your VS as well. Okay, tip number 15. Again, this kind of goes right back to my alliance leaders or people that want to push their leadership to be best. And a comment I saw a while ago is, what do you recommend for alliance tech? Now, here's the thing. There is 2 very different routes that you can take with this, and how I would recommend it is this. Alliance techs early on, pre-season 1, so I would say, the entire base of the game up until season 1, I would hyper focus everything on development. Get your great helper up, quick construction up, quick research up, senior scientist, and then veteran craftsman. I don't really like veteran craftsman, but some people do. I don't care about the 0.5% reduction of resources. It does absolutely nothing. I know people really like it. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. I would rather spend it on the great helper, quick construction, or quick research. I would focus on development, and then once season 1 and season 2 roll around, I would start to focus more onto the war aspect here. And the ones that I recommend over here are Expert Trainer, Quick Trainer are all right, but the Garrison stuff here is really important. Drill Ground Expansion is really, really nice. Rallied stuff is really, really nice, especially for cities, and Troop Movement is also fantastic as well. Okay, tip 16, and this is kind of something I've talked about previously before, and I'm going to go ahead and appoint my friend here to the VP. Wait until the capital buffs unlock to start really pushing your base, especially for my free-to-play or low-spending players. This is super, super important that you take advantage of these buffs because the Secretary of Development is a 50% construction speed buff. So if you're going to go from level 28 to level 29, wait until the Secretary of Development comes out in your server and wait until you're holding that title. You get it for 5 minutes, and anything that you do during that 5 minutes gets affected. Before or after does not matter. None of that is affected. It's only during that 5-minute window. So get your buff on, and once you have your buff equipped, go ahead and do everything. The same thing with Secretary of Science, kind of underrated. 50% construction, or well, 50% research speed. My apologies. Go ahead and do all that when you're getting ready to jump into whatever you plan on doing. For all my people that are getting ready to go into season 1 or have been researching, you'll know that professions come out in season 1, and what you're going to want to do is, especially for all of, and this is kind of dedicated to them, geared towards them, is that for all of my free to play, low to spend players, people that may not have T10s yet, go ahead and grab your engineer, focus on engineer, get everything leveled up. I would go ahead and show you, but I'm in season 2, so the tree's a bit different. Once you get T10s, you're more than welcome to switch over to war leader. I recommend that, but engineer, for everybody that's not spending a butt ton of money, this is the way to go. Kind of a small one, and I've talked about this probably 7 or 8 times, is don't do anything on your base unless it is that dedicated day in VS. So for example, I will do all of my drone stuff on Monday, since Monday is the drone day. As you can see here, today's theme is drone part and battle data, but I won't do any sort of tech until day 3, Age of Science. This is just to help you maximize your score on VS. And it's also a good way to keep yourself ready for, sorry, not ready for, but to keep yourself disciplined and making sure that you're not just upgrading stuff willy-nilly. So yeah. Okay, so the next few tips are actually going to be pretty basic stuff that everybody should know. If you don't know by now, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but 99% of all players are going to know this stuff. Now, also to clarify, the next few things are not going to make or break you. I promise you it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't do these things. It's just small little things that can help you grow a lot faster, especially early on. So I would say preseason is the best time to do this. But this next tip, which is going to be tip 19, is going to be make sure that you are plundering your cap of resources every single day from dead bases. Do not be attacking up live bases or bases that are in alliance. I promise you, it's not worth the hassle. The resources ain't worth the fight. You're going to want to go ahead and ash these small bases, or you're going to want to go ahead and get your cap of resources every single day, because what happens is, so for example, I can get 90,000 bread here, and I'll be able to plunder, I don't know, 25 million bread or something like that every day. It's small and it gets bigger as you get on higher levels and all that fun stuff, but just going to help you increase your ability to do techs or your ability to build higher level stuff. All right, I'm going to do kind of an intermission here, and I just want to say thank you all so much for your support. I hope that you guys do enjoy this video. If you are, go ahead and leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below one tip maybe I didn't go over here, or one tip that you think I'm wrong about, and tell me why in the comments below. I do like hearing the input and the feedback from you guys. I enjoy the conversations. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep you guys here much longer, and yeah, let's head back to the video. Okay, again, kind of I said the next few, and I mean that is, make sure that you're doing your secret tasks every day. I would recommend that you're sending out just the UR secret tasks. Also, make sure that you're assisting other people's secret tasks, and make sure that you're plundering 5 secret tasks. Again, you want to only be doing the highest level, because the resources and all the stuff that you gain is so much better at the highest level than it is the tier below. Again, kind of simple work, but make sure that you're getting your cap of 5 every single day for the assisting and plundering other tasks. I didn't do it. I don't need to, because this tip is kind of geared towards the smaller average player. Again, you are. Okay, kind of another one that flies under the radar for some reason, and I don't understand why entirely, is that I will see people get these resource chests, and as I already talked about, wait until you're level 30, but I'll see level 30s get these resource chests and just pop them, just have them. There is no point in doing that, because, for example, I'm at 140 million, 150 million, and 90 million. But if I wanted to upgrade, I don't really have anything good to upgrade right now. Okay, so my tech center is at level 28. If I wanted to upgrade my tech center here, it takes 820 million, 820 million, 263 million. It's just so much smarter to keep those chests untouched and unused, because now when I click upgrade, I'll be able to go ahead and replenish all. It's going to give me the confirmation. This says, hey, we're going to use up all this stuff in your inventory if you really want to do this. I obviously do not, but it's so much smarter to not go ahead and pop those chests. I actually see people doing this, and I just want to clarify that it is silly to do this, because by doing this, you're allowing other people to take your resources. You're allowing other people that when they burn you, they're just going to nab even more resources. But if you have them in the chest, they can't take them. That simple. I'm so glad that I'm still here on this page, because tip number 22 is actually going to be, I do not recommend using these universal resource chests on anything other than gold. Now I get it. You need iron, you need bread in order to upgrade these buildings. And sure, if you're in a pickle or you're in a bind and you're close to level 30 and these chests will push you over that resource threshold, fine. But if you are level 30 already or whatever, gold is going to be your strap for a long time. You're going to be asking for more gold. You're going to be begging for it, because everything in this game requires gold. But the resources that are otherwise needed, such as bread and iron, are not going to be what's keeping you down. I promise you, you're going to want to use these universals on nothing but gold. Gold, gold. Tip number 23 is that, again, this is kind of very situational, but what I would recommend to just about everybody is you will have these great things called universal speedups. I have 13 days worth. I do not recommend using the universal speedups on anything other than tech. Now, again, I get that if you're close to level 30 and this will push you over, you're trying to really speed up, you're trying to push to level 30, you're trying to get there in the first 45, 60 days. Sure, whatever, that's completely fine. But for the average player, I recommend saving the universal speedups for tech, because tech is going to be what saves you in the end. It is going to be the winner of your fighting. You could face somebody that's level 5 or 6 levels higher than you, and if you have better tech, that's all that matters. You will win. Yes, save universal speedups for tech unless you are trying to really push for something, and then it makes sense. I get it. Number 24, again, piggybacking right off this universal speedup, and that is going to be that tech is your biggest game changer. Now, I'm kind of lacking because I haven't been spending as much time on the game as I did originally, but tech is going to be your biggest game changer. All, as you can see here, I have 2 tech videos. You should go watch Tech Part 1 and Tech Part 2. I promise you they're going to help change your game or change your outlook on the game. Tech is going to be what saves you in the end. I promise. I know I've repeated it probably 20 times in the past 30 seconds. Just trust me on it. Number 25 is at early game. The 2 things I'd focus on, obviously excluding tech, which I've talked about, is pushing to level 30 and also getting to T10 troops, tier 10 troops. Yes, now there are pros and cons to that, and that is because getting to level 30 is expensive and it takes a long time, and you pretty much have to prioritize your headquarters versus actually caring about tech. But I promise that once you get to level 30, a lot of the other stuff is just going to free up. But also, once you get tier 10 troops done in your tech tree, you will have so much more resources, you'll have so much more time, you won't have the biggest piggyback. The biggest thing holding you down is going to be level 30, and it's going to be tier 10 troops. Once you have both of those unlocked, everything else opens up. It's like a whole new world. But yes, early on, recommend that, push for that. Okay, tip number 26 is going to be my most recommended purchase to the low levels or the very low spenders. Go ahead and move my face cam over to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and show you right here. If you click on this VIP button in the top left below your profile picture, it's going to bring up this VIP screen here. As you'll see on the bottom, there's this VIP exclusive tab where you can spend gold bricks or real money to go ahead and get this. What I recommend to you guys here is you can move back and forth between the VIP pages, and it shows you previous VIPs or future VIPs. What I'm recommending here is that you go all the way back to the very first VIP and you buy Taylor here. This is going to be a huge, pretty much promotion for you guys. It's going to swing the game for you a lot of ways, because her chests that you get from doing your radar tasks every day unlock extra stuff such as deco, universal shards, stamina, which is a huge one now, especially that they got rid of the stamina packs. And once you get her up to a certain level, I think it's 4 stars, you will unlock the second echelon of chests. And these echelon of chests are just so much better since they have the UWAR resource chest, 50 stamina, all that fun stuff. I promise you this is going to be the best purchase that you or anybody else can make. If you have the funds or the availability to get her to 4-star, I would recommend it. Otherwise, unlocking her for the $5 I think it costs, if we go back over here, I think it is $5. Yeah, $5 unlocking her. It's a nice little deal for you, and it's going to be my favorite purchase, and it's going to be a lot of people's favorite purchase. Okay, kind of a small one, and I wish that I was doing this at reset, but once you have the train, the Alliance train, it unlocks, I think, at day 14, and if you have like 20 plus members, the Alliance train comes with 4 carts, the passenger, the VIP passenger, and the conductor, and there's going to be 4 carts. Now, you'll notice that some of the carts are better than others, obviously, but what I recommend to the average player or to the normal player is that don't go for the cart that has the most people in it, go for the cart that has the least amount of people trying to get in it. Because at the end of the day, you can take that risk to get into the cart that's waiting with 27 people trying to get into that cart, all week, all 7 days of the week, and never get it. Or you could wait in that line for that cart that has 7 people, and you could get that 4 times a week. Yes, the rewards aren't as good as the most valuable cart, but I promise you, some rewards are better than no rewards at all. Some kind of a small one here is I'm going to go over here to gear, and this is going to be tip number 28. We're getting down here to the wire, and this is going to be one of my favorite ones here, and that is going to be don't use any gear other than orange gear. Purple gear, blue gear, green gear, all of it's useless. Do not use any of this gear. Break all of it down over here into this little gear factory. Where is it? Right here. Click on your gear factory, click on the stuff here, dismantle everything that's not orange. You don't care about any of that gear. And then you're going to want to go ahead over here to merge. You're going to want to merge this all. You're going to want to get dielectric ceramics, and you're going to want to turn around and build orange gear. Now, I know there are some fanatics that really like purple gear for some reason, and I think that's going to be a game changer. I promise it's not. Do not care for purple gear. You're going to want to break it down instantly and get as much gold gear as fast as possible. I have a gear guide. It's actually one of my very first videos. All right, jumping back over here to arena at tip number 29, and that is going to be make sure that you're doing your arena every single day, because there's free rewards that you're missing out on by not doing it, such as honor points, which are a huge help in getting you your blueprints, and the rewards that you get from being top 10 or whatever it may be. You'll have a much better time unlocking stuff if you just do all of your stuff that you can each day. You don't have to be the best, you don't have to be the strongest, but I promise it does make a huge difference when you are just maximizing your daily stuff every day, and it allows you to have so much more unlocked to you, and you're going to progress a lot faster. Okay, so a great one that I recommend here, so this is going to be tip number 30, so the second to last thing is that make sure that you're always keeping your tech people going. Make sure that your 2 tech stations are always being used. You want these in constant motion, because the more tech, the better, the stronger, the faster everything. Keep those always in motion. And then for here, for your builders, you're going to always want to keep those busy too. I have one free right now because it is the season, and I like to upgrade these season buildings as soon as I possibly can. Having these builders, whether you only have 1 or 2, maxed out at all times is the smart way to do it. All right, finally, tip number 31, and this is kind of a new one since they got rid of the stamina packs, and stamina is so much harder to obtain now than it used to be, is that you're going to want to go ahead and save all of your stamina. So I have a lot of stamina because I've been saving it for a long time. You're going to want to go ahead and save all of your stamina, use your daily stamina to get your beasts done, your doom elites, your doom walkers. Make sure that you're using your daily stamina, but save as much of that as possible for these 2 events, which is Warzone Duel or any sort of fighting. So for right now, season 2, we're getting ready to go into Rare Soil Wars. I will keep my stamina for that. And then the second one is going to be the Goldies event. The Goldies event is going to be your best spend of time, energy, stamina. It's the best way to level up quickly. It's the best way to get resources, the best way to get speed ups. It is just the best way in general, but you need stamina to do so. Don't be wasting your stamina on such things as like Doom Elites or zombies on the map or even Doom Walkers. Make sure that you're using just your daily stamina for that. All right, so this is finally the following day, and I'm just now getting around to editing everything and getting it uploaded for you guys, but I wanted to go ahead and have this outro and just apologize essentially for repeating myself so much in this video. But if you guys did find any of that information helpful, go ahead and drop a subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you guys thought was interesting, or maybe if it was all just normal information. Regardless, I have this video right up here that's going to go over the recent changes that LastWar made to their game, and it's all about the purchasing power. And this video down here is actually going to be my first hero guide. I do plan on dropping a new hero guide here relatively soon, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you all so much. Jelly out.